Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. It's been maybe 6 months, I believe, since the last time me and this gentleman chatted. It is Crazy Smooth Combat Radio. My man Mike Busatelli here. And
you remembered the name. You got
I
that
do.
off.
You like that, man? You like that?
You have it written down somewhere?
No, I don't. No, I don't. Do you remember the name?
I do.
No, all right, good.
You're the one that kept screwing it up the first few
I
times.
did. You're right. I did. You know what? Now I'm going to screw it up probably at the end of this.
Probably.
Thanks. I appreciate
right.
that. But we are here. It's been about 6 months. Obviously.
Has it really?
Yeah, it has. I mean, we've kept in contact. We've done a lot of things, which we'll get into all that here in a bit. In a lot, you're busy. Obviously, you have a fight coming up, and there's a lot of craziness happening in the world of MMA right now, which we'll get into all of that. But man, it's been freaking busy.
Yeah, well, I also was out in living in Philadelphia for a month and change there.
Your last fight, you went down and learned a whole bunch of stuff.
I did. That was fun. I was training under Phil and Rick Migliorese, good old Italian boys out there in Philly.
And you had some life experiences while you were down there.
Yeah. So there was we gonna starve. You can't be buying crack. That sentence will forever ring in my head. I'm just gonna leave. Actually, I'm not even gonna explain the story. I want everyone to visualize their own story as to why I heard that shouted and
we're gonna starve if you buy crack.
If you keep buying crack.
If you keep buying crack,
we got to buy food. You can't keep buying crack.
That is epic.
Yeah. Well, at 4 a.m, that is not what you want to hear.
No, not really. not really. Not one bit.
No.
And then you're just like, what the hell is happening in this world?
Oh, yeah. I had a lot of questions about my life choices at that particular moment.
I bet you did, man.
There was a lot of, is this really... This is where I'm going.
But let's get into that. Obviously, your last fight was your first big TV fight, and
it wasn't my first big TV fight. I debuted as a big TV fight, main card.
But you're being 6-0 at the time, and
it was a big deal. It didn't pan out the way that I had anticipated. It was a bit of a quick stoppage, flash knockdown deal, but. A lot of people were like, "Oh, well, why didn't you argue?" I'm like, "Because the ref's not going to be like, all right, guys, I'm wrong. Go ahead, fight again."
Right.
Is what it is, but it was, as trite and stereotypical sounding as it is, losing was actually one of the more valuable things that I've ever had happen. I've been fighting 7.5 years, somewhere in that range now. Never lost a grappling tournament, never lost a boxing match, never lost a Thai fight, never lost an MMA fight.
It really is good, though, because it refocuses you on the things that you need to do. To continue, you know what I mean?
Not only that, but it made me realize just how much I love doing what I'm doing. You know, when you just go out there and you're just kind of doing your thing for so long, a lot of it kind of blurs into just one big long punch.
Right.
And like having that little defeat, it made me really, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of times I was always, you'd think about your first loss. You think about it. You're like, well, what happens when I lose? Am I gonna be able to handle it and all this? And I'm proud to say I had a good reaction. I was like, fuck, nope.
It's all good.
Drop that in there. It's the podcast.
It's all good.
We're off the radio. Yeah. So it was good to realize like I didn't want to wither away. I mean, yeah, I felt like shit for a little while, but that's two. But I was like, damn, I just want to get back in there and show everyone that was bull and that I'm a better fighter than that. So it was good to kind of realize that about myself. But I would have liked the money.
Yeah,
that would have been nice.
Obviously. Yeah, who wouldn't?
And all that. But I mean, the guy he beat me. He's no joke. I got out without any injuries. Obviously, that's important too. And it's not like he dominated me or anything. I got a takedown right off the bat, and it's just kind of. Just a little clip shot. That's why people watch the sport.
The funniest thing was, and obviously it's not funny that it happened, but, but when you went down, you could see you go, what the, like, I could just picture you in your head as we're watching it. What the hell? And you see your hand just flare, and I'm like, he's still with it.
I was totally with it, man. And it was funny, as Dan Morgliata, Big Dan there, I ran into him at the bar afterwards, and he was like, Mike, man, you got me in so much shit. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, when you went down, I might have been there a little soon or whatever, but you looked up at me and you go, oh, fuck you. and I started laughing. And so all these people started blowing up his Twitter, like, you shouldn't be laughing at the guy that just lost. That's mean, Dan. He's like, I'm not laughing at him. The kid's fucking funny.
Right.
And I'm laughing because I'm laughing. You weren't there. You don't get it. But he hit the ground and just looked up and goes,
funny.
fuck. That's like, ah.
But you know what? That's the reality of what of kind of the way it goes. It was.
Man.
I mean, it was funny to me. I guess I don't know.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I can look back at it now and laugh at least. You know, there were a few weeks where if anyone mentioned it, I'd punch him in the face.
Yeah, I know. I didn't speak to you for about 2 weeks after the fight. So.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Or I did. I would text you, and then it would be 2 days later when I get a response.
Yeah. Well,
Which I get it. You don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah. No. I mean, that's the thing. Right afterwards, it's a little stingy, but you get over it. I mean, that's why it's a sport. And now I got another one coming up, and it's going to be a big card.
Yeah.
Up on the season opener, and this will segue right into our
right.
Our
so,
good
but to
topic.
to refocus, obviously, you not besides the obviously Bellator 123 being an amazing card,
Yeah.
but you've kind of developed some things within the community here. With your Tai Kai guys and doing a fight camp and like I mean you're I think you've seen some things being in Philadelphia and kind of you're kind of changing the way things are happening around here.
I'm trying to, man. I mean, not to toot my own horn because I'm gonna catch shit from that at the gym. Anytime I say anything like remotely like, oh yeah, I did good, everyone's like, oh, superstar,
Whatever.
But yeah, no, it's down when I was down there, man. You know, I've been living up here and training pretty much exclusively up here for 7 years, whatever. And I work hard. You know, I've worked my ass off,
Absolutely.
and the results pay off, obviously. But when you went down there, you just learn that there's a whole different level that you can get to of work and commitment and kind of camaraderie and teamwork. You know, you hear about these team alpha males, and you hear about the Black Zillions and all these teams, and it's something I learned really how important it is because they do have that kind of, all right, there's everyone in the class, but then there's the fight team.
Yeah,
these
right.
are the guys that need to come in and they do their extra work together as a group, and they push each other because these are the guys that, for what it's worth, won't be slowed down by newer people.
Absolutely.
You don't want to say that.
But
in
no,
class,
but I mean, you're right. Yeah, absolutely.
When you have brand new people in class, you can't do the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of have to get on our own, and really, you have that intensity level
More
dialed
focused
up.
training on stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do stuff together as a team that you can't do at regular time. So I'm
Right.
trying to bring that over to our fight team, fight camp, and for what it's worth, it's paying off. We had local amateur show last weekend. Ryan Belintfi went out there, faced a real tough opponent, and you just saw from his last fight to this fight, this kid's gonna be real good too, by the way. Just laser focus, endless stamina, and just hunted this guy that was a good fighter, tall, lanky kickboxer. That'd be tough for Ryan to face,
Right.
And just hunt him down and pound the piss out of him for 3 rounds.
Because he obviously from that training. I mean, I know from doing that crazy kind of training of flipping tires and running and doing all that stuff that you get that that some people don't have, and obviously a lot of people don't have a pro fighter that they have a chance to train with on a daily basis.
Well, thank you. But that's what we're just trying to bring that group together. Bring that intensity level up, add a little extra on top of what we're already doing, because that's what you need to do if you want to go to the level.
So let's say, I mean, obviously your career isn't over.
Obviously not.
No, I mean, as far as is coaching in the future for you, man?
Yeah, I'd like to think so. And it's interesting because, for what it was worth, for a long time I was always like, I don't want to coach right now. Right now I want to 100% focus on me being a fighter.
Right.
I'll take it being a coach later. But as time's kind of progressed, there's been a large crop, especially with the amateur New York MMA scene of guys coming up. And, some of the coaching duties have come off to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoy it more than I thought I would. I really never thought I'd like it. But coaching does help me as a fighter, too, because when I'm back revisiting other people's fundamentals or looking at someone else, I'm saying things and thinking things that are going to help me execute more clearly. And yeah, definitely. Someday I'd definitely like to settle into a coaching role. But I got a few more years.
Well, yeah, I just thought I'd throw that out.
Oh, no, definitely. Look for a Musatelli gym opening up near.
No. And I always told you, because you bust my balls about the whole Pacific Health Club thing, that if I ever want to learn MMA, which someday I will, even though I can't do some of the things that you guys do.
No, but
you're the guy I'm coming to.
I'm here, man. I got you, bro.
As long as I don't have to go down on my knees, and that didn't sound very good.
That's
wow.
What was that the Lloyd Irvin school there?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't.
You never heard about that? He was like a jiu-jitsu MMA coach that was like top of the line for a long time, and they found out that he was doing all these weird cultish things. Like he'd make like the girls like.
Oh no.
Yeah, and they had like all these weird rituals where they had to like refer to him as sir and walk around naked.
Nope.
Yeah, no, you're doing that.
No.
Yeah.
I'm going to call you dickhead maybe, but I don't know about it. All right, so let's get into Bellator 123. Obviously, the season opener, and it's going to be a barn burner, and you have a fight on this card.
I do.
Which actually you and another Tai Kai guy.
And another Tai Kai Kai. That was...
Tai Kai Kai?
Yeah.
There you go.
That happened. All right, Tamden the Barn Cat McRory, who is a bit of a fan favorite, had spent some time in the UFC, was an exciting knockout artist. He's been sparring with me over at Tai Kai. He's helped me prepare for a few fights. He's making his return on this card as well.
Middleweight?
Yeah. He's actually, I think he's coming down. I think he used to fight at, maybe he's coming up. Yeah, he's coming up. He used to fight at 70, I believe, and now he's coming in at 85 or
It's amazing.
Like
15 pounds, so much of a difference in the world.
Yeah, it's crazy,
fighting.
man. Well, I mean, he was in the UFC when he was something like 22, 21, so he hadn't even finished growing, you know?
Yeah, right.
So now he's a beast. So that'll be exciting. His stand-up is still just annoyingly painful.
Has he caught you in practice?
Oh yeah, his hands are just sharp and quick. And we had last weekend we had a pretty epic stand-up battle, so that was entertaining. And he's really been putting in a lot of time on his jiu-jitsu game. So and that was the one thing that was missing before. When he was over at the UFC, so this should be an exciting fight. He's got a real tough opponent in Brennan Ward, who just won the tournament and fought Shlemenko for the title. So this is Ward's fight after that, and then Tamden's first fight out of retirement. So it'll be exciting.
Do you think that they were giving Ward like a gimme fight? Do you think maybe that they thought this? I mean, going into, obviously he has a background with UFC and everything.
Yeah, I mean that's true, and obviously I know him. I know Tamden, and I know how he's been trained. So I would never call it a gimme. I don't know if that's the way Ward's looking at it. I don't know. I don't want to say yeah, just because Tamden does have a very good reputation. He's something like 11-2 or something like that.
Yeah.
You know? So it's not like that's ever a gimme. It's definitely a big, a tough opponent, but. There's a lot of things in his corner, but I'm biased. So
true, absolutely. But that's all good. It's all good.
Tamden's like 6'6", so and Ward's like 5'10".
Right.
And it's gonna be tough getting in on Tamden's jabs and kicks. Those are fucking
good, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be there.
This is a very vulgar episode. So
yeah, I like it. Oh well, it's all good. We're leaving it in there. I'm not bleeping anything. So check it out. Then, of course, you return to the cage.
I do.
After the last fight, and your opponent. What are you thinking? Because I know where your head's at right now. You're like it's go time. But
it definitely is. I'm anxious to get in there. I've been anxious to get in there for a month now. Mark Griffin, and he's a Northeast guy. He was, he actually has a similar story with two Tamdens. He was highly touted prospect coming out the Northeast, New England area. Mm-hmm. People were looking at him to be a big noisemaker. He came out, went to Bellator, I want to say like 48 or something like that a while ago. Got beat and then just fell off the radar, just left and retired, I guess. And he came out of retirement recently, a couple months ago, fighting at another Northeast, New England area event. Won a few, and now he's due back in against yours truly. So he's riding a hot streak. I'm looking to come back and make everyone know that was just a fluke shot.
Right.
And, I hate to say that, it was a lucky punch and all that, because obviously it takes skill to hit someone in the face.
Absolutely.
But, it's a 1 in a million shot, and it's never going to happen again. I've been spending a lot of time with my boxing coach because that's really where I needed to up my game a little bit. I've had good jiu-jitsu for years. We're a jiu-jitsu school. I've had good Thai for a while. My kicks have always been on point. But my boxing needed to, and we got a new boxing coach in. And, he's been really taking things back a notch and getting me back at my core, getting everything working. So my hands feel really sharp. He's a southpaw. I've had a lot of success against southpaw. I've never let one out of the first round. So I'm looking forward to it.
So without getting too much in, because obviously we're a little ahead of the fight here by the time this will get posted, but what is a little bit of the game plan?
To beat him up in the head and neck area.
That's my man right there.
I'm just gonna bring war to this guy. I'm coming off on fire, and this kid's going down real hard.
All right, we'll go with that. And then obviously, just being on this card with, we're talking probably one of the best cards that I've seen Bellator have besides the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
With Bobby Lashley, obviously WWE superstar, big name. King Mo, who neither of us like.
I'd love to fight him.
Maybe
I got a bit. I can't. I'm not gonna.
I know, but
there's a bit there of who he's fighting too that kind of rubs him. But that's all right. We'll just let that go for now. And that'll be saved for an interview elsewhere, I think.
And then Czech Congo against Johnson, and then obviously the title fight with Curran and Pitbull, which should be a barn burner.
Isn't that the third one or something?
Second one.
Yep. Yeah. It's gonna be a blast of card. It's a season opener, and I'm hoping it's obviously stacked with some big names, so that'll be exciting. Especially with the Lashley getting the wrestling carryover guys,
right.
like the Brock fans carried over. But also it's the first. I mean, I don't want to. It's not the first, but it's really the first card since Coker has taken the helm over at Bellator, and that was a big thing that happened while we were away. Bjorn Rebney, the former president of Bellator, was ousted, gone, and.
Which happens.
Yeah.
Which happens.
Yeah, I mean, any job goes to show you. A lot of people in the MMA community had very negative, and even in the MMA journalist community had real negative opinions of Bjorn. I never had problems with Bjorn. Me and him were always on great terms. He was always really approachable, to me at least. I don't know, maybe he liked my eyes. But he seemed nice to me, but there were a lot of people, I mean, some really big names too, that had a lot of issues with him. So... it is what it is. For me, it's my job takes place in the cage regardless of who's watching. So it'll be interesting to see what direction we go in because Scott Coker was the head of Strikeforce, and Strikeforce, as you remember, was a very big name,
huge.
Yeah, it was rivaling UFC for #1 spot for quite some time, and again for Bjorn for what he did, a lot of people want to give him heat and problems, but he did take Bellator from US or ESPN Deportes.
Yeah, right.
To the #2 league in the world, which is impressive in and of itself.
Everything has to have steps.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he got to as far as he could get, and Viacom saw that wasn't going any further.
That's what a lot of people have been saying recently, is that his scope was kind of limited, and to take to the next level.
You have to, you got to have that guy.
To move on up, but
with Strikeforce, obviously, that's where the majority of the women MMA.
Yeah, that's where it started.
Do we see that coming to
Bellator? Used to have a women's division, and then they sold it to, or they didn't sell it, but they just allowed their fighters to go to Invicta. I don't know if you'll see it be pulled back, because it is a bit of a catch-22. They kind of released them at the exact moment when women's MMA was really picking up for the UFC.
Great time that was.
Right. So you release them and it gets big, but also do you have the time? You're trying to build your main card enough because you're just settling into this #2 Spike TV role. Do you have the time to gamble on I hate to say it, on women's MMA cards? Fights taking up main card slots where people might not be as interested, which that is what it is.
Right.
Me, I'm a huge women's MMA supporter and fan.
It's just got to be in the right place.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the key.
So it was kind of one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't type scenarios. I don't know. I don't know if you'll see it come back.
Being on that, do you ever see maybe a full card on whether it's Bellator or UFC or Invicta or any of the things that they have out there right now? Of just women fights.
Well, Invicta is just a women's.
Okay, that is, but in the I guess in the bigger scope of everything.
No, I mean I don't. Just not for a while at least. I mean, for what it's worth, the last women's I think was which one did Rousey pouty face McGee there?
Oh yeah. Oh jeez.
I mean she's good, but. I also think that she needs to be tested a little better.
Well, everybody says that they want to see the Cyborg fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, because that's the one thing that she really hasn't fought is just an elite level striker.
Which we've seen. She doesn't like getting hit in the face.
Yeah. No.
You start hitting her in her face, and yeah, she gets mad, but she immediately goes for a takedown, and she's trying to find a way out of it. You know what I mean? So
Cyborg, that could be a dangerous match. I'm a big fan of Holly Holm, who, she just, I think, got signed by the UFC. She was like the world's best women's boxer for like forever. And so a lot of them consider her the best of all time. And she made her foray into women's MMA, and it's something like 6-0 with 5 knockouts. So
maybe that'll happen.
Yeah, her footwork and her hand speed and her combos are just ridiculous. And she's out there sparring with John Jones, so yeah. That should be interesting.
So she's a Jackson fighter then, obviously.
Yeah, I think so.
Gotcha. So obviously, this is going to be a big week coming up in September. Tickets are still available, I will be there.
Yeah,
as my first live MMA experience.
It's gonna be a blast, man.
Just for you, pal.
Just for me.
That's it. I know I said I would, like last year you were fighting up there, and I didn't get a chance to go, but this year I'm locked in.
This year's the time to do it, though.
This
is gonna be the better card. You know what it is? It's the wrestling guy that got you, isn't it? It's the wrestling crossover.
No. It actually was Curran and Pitbull. No, I'm just kidding. No. It's you, dude. I want, you know what I'm saying? Because I said I would come and you came to X Fest and.
I did
over the summer.
Thanks for. You had some laughter in there. Is there a reason? No, because something you'd like to elaborate on?
Well, here's all right. We'll break out the day right now because we got to have some sort of comedy sometimes in some of these. So we'll break out the day. Basically, I invited you, and every time I've invited you to anything, you've obviously had a fight, so you're in camp. So you can't really drink. But this time there was ample time for you to come out and have a good time.
I think it was something like 14 weeks out.
So you came out. We're having a good time. I took care of you, VIP and all that stuff.
Woo.
And then I brought you up on stage. I'm like, oh, come up on stage, and you're throwing out stuff, and we're having a good time. We're hanging, and then the bottle of vodka really started flowing at one point, and then otherwise.
Can I just put it like in a side note for anyone that listens? I don't drink maybe 3 or 4 times a year.
No, you don't. So, but when you're going with me, you're going big, especially when it's our main show of the year.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what I mean?
It was a definite blast. It was a huge show, and the crowd was nuts. It was great.
Yeah, so we're on stage with Otherwise, and they had a bottle of Jameson, and I'm like, oh, man. So we walk up just before they're getting set up, and we do the stager and all that stuff with that. And Ryan from the band gives you the bottle, and you can't say no at that point.
When a rock star comes up and hands you a bottle of liquor, what do you do?
Yeah, you got to swing it.
You do rock star things.
So it was definitely a good time. It was well enjoyed, and then we went to the bar afterwards.
It was definitely a turning point was when that bottle started.
Yes, right?
Because it started out full at the beginning of their set.
It did.
And it was not by the end of their set.
No. And then after we were done, we went backstage, and we're hanging out, and the bottle of Jaeger was gone at that point.
Yeah.
So
your candy Jaeger thing.
Yeah, it's the vanilla spice is so good. It really is. It's bad, right?
It's
but then I thought, I'm like, man, I said to my wife the next day, I'm like, did we finish the bottle of vodka? She's like, yeah, dumbass. You guys were passing it around.
Oh, I do recall that.
And I'm like, we were? And I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, no, things went.
It went south.
And then I hit tequila at the bar too. So
did you?
Yeah, I hit the.
Oh no.
I hit all the major bases.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, and
I don't know what.
That's why they don't let me off the leash.
No. I mean, we definitely we went full bore, and there was at the bar. I know there was Jaeger and there was tequila. I don't know what else we were drinking that night, but I was sleeping in the bench over at the Beeville Diner. You were
sleeping in the stool at the bar too.
Was I?
Oh yeah, just mid sentence you'd kind of just droop off.
Did I really?
Oh yeah, a few times.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
And then you'd throw things. You threw things at me at one point.
Did I throw things at you?
Yeah, you hit me with an ice cube.
Oh, it's an ice cube.
Yeah,
I don't remember any of that. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I'm gonna be. Let's not. Don't tell me anymore, because the guy I'm not embarrassed by it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like
it's confusing.
Well, yeah, because like up until last year, I got blackout drunk once. In my 25th birthday, I was blackout drunk in bleachers.
Really?
Yeah, and that was the only time in my entire life.
Well, I'm glad to have been there for such a seminal event.
Up until last year at my birthday when I got blackout drunk because I drank an entire bottle of Jaeger, which was not a great idea.
On the radio.
Yeah.
'Cause you're a fancy superstar.
Yeah, I'm just fancy. So, it got to that point. I'm like, so this is only like the third time in my life. Actually, fourth time because I was pretty fucking drunk at my birthday last year.
You haven't fucking dialed up like that, huh?
No, I can't.
Do you have like a chalkboard at home that you put down every blackout drunk?
No, I mean, if think about it. If it's only happened like 4 times.
That's true. It's true.
You know what I mean? It's not like
it's
college,
like getting laid. If it happens very rarely, you just.
I don't have that problem, man. That's why.
You don't get laid anymore. You're married.
You're right, exactly. But yeah, I mean, whatever. I guess you only live, right? YOLO, right? I guess.
Oh, don't.
I'm sorry.
We're something to throw at you.
I'm sorry. Don't throw anything at me. Here comes the pen. Look at that block.
Blocked it with the microphone.
Quick hands. You see that?
You got to get into training, bro. Come on, man.
So, getting back into the world of MMA, it's me and my man Mike Busatelli, Crazy Smooth Combat Radio, and we always have fun. You got to have a fun segment, and we haven't hammered your brother yet, so we'll get there. But
we'll get there.
Getting into this week of MMA, the world of MMA, it has been an interesting last 2 days.
Yeah.
After obviously, if you missed it, I don't know what rock you bet because when ESPN and USA Today and CNN are covering things. Shit's real.
Yeah, it's definitely, when the major outlets, because MMA, for what it's worth, people that follow it, people that love the sport, people that obviously train in the sport, compete in the sport, MMA is kind of like your life, and you're like, oh, I know everything about it. But if you go out to a bar, and this is something that happens to me, when I do go out and drink, which is not very often, and this is one of the reasons. I'll go with my friends. They're like, dude, just tell the girls that you're a pro fighter. I'm like, they have no fucking idea what it is.
You're right.
So it will always be brought up by someone that's not me because it's a fucking headache to deal with. And they're like, this guy's a pro MMA fighter. And they're like, what's pro MMA? Oh my God.
And then you get the guys that think that look at you and be like, I could take this dude.
Yeah, and that's the next logical step is, I got to beat this guy's ass.
Yeah, because you're not one of those guys that wears the Affliction shirt.
No, I'm not.
Or the Tap Out shirt. I mean, at one point it was kind of cool to have that stuff. Now it's just kind of gay.
I don't feel like it ever was.
I think, maybe because you're in that game.
Yeah.
You're in that genre.
Yeah.
But obviously, to sell T-shirts, Tap Out's done pretty damn well.
They're in they're in Walmart. I don't think you can beat that any.
No, you're big time when you hit Walmart, man.
Yeah, man. That's how you know you're balling.
Yeah.
Although I am rocking my Lanky fight gear. Check them out at lankyfg.com.
That a boy. Good plug. But obviously, Jones, Cormier, the next UFC, I believe it's September 27th.
Yeah.
It got heated this week
into fisticuffs.
Which was, does the sport need it or didn't need it?
This is fun because I think way back at one of our first ones we talked about spectacle versus sport.
Yes, you're absolutely correct.
And there's a lot of tinfoil hats out there being like, oh, it was staged.
There's no way that was staged. I hate
judging
to tell
by the look of terror on the individual trying to break them up.
Oh, what was his name?
It wasn't Anik. It was
everybody thought it was Anik.
Everyone thought it was Anik, but it
wasn't.
I can't think of it right now.
I don't know.
I could if I had service down here, I'd look it up, but
I'll look it up right now.
But I'll look it up right now. But yeah, you can. While you're looking it up, I'll chat.
Yeah, go ahead.
You talk about, do we need it? Is it drawing a bunch of eyes to the sport? Yes, but is it also drawing a lot of negative stereotypes to a sport where people that already don't know their head from their asshole are saying,
right?
Oh, it's human cockfighting. Look at these dumb tough guys. We're trying to. For the most part, fighters are not that. They're we're rich, cultured individuals. No,
I don't know about all that.
We're poor, cultured.
We'll go with that.
But the most fighters that you'll meet are fairly. You got to be a humble fighter, 'cause, in real life. Sure, you have to put on this persona every now and again when you get interviewed. Before your fight, yeah, I'm gonna beat him up and put punches in his head and hurt him with my fists. You have to kind of pretend to do that in order to sell the fight. But the reality is, most of us, you have to be humble because the reality of fighting is you're not going to be the best in the world at everything.
Right.
Someone's going to be either a better wrestler, judo artist, Thai boxer, jiu-jitsu guy. Someone's going to be better at you than something. So you can't be completely arrogant. People that are burn out quick. So, the reality is most fighters aren't that muscle-headed image, that super tough guy, in your face, talk trash at the bar, come on, bro, come at me, bro,
right,
type guy. And this kind of scuffle perpetuates that kind of image a little bit.
It does, but when you're talking about two guys that are one of the guys at the top of his game, I don't think Cormier is at the top of his Cormier, whatever the hell it is. He's
a little older.
Well, yeah, I mean,
he's like 33,
which is fine. I mean,
well, that's a fine age, but also having those years of Olympic wrestling, that takes a toll on your body, man.
Yeah, it's just like playing football. It's consistent pounding. You know what I mean, that you're getting. But
I heard not you that took a lot of pounding. In football.
Yep. But not that the guy's a great fighter. It's just to a point where you're just like, yeah, whatever. I mean, come on. Listen, Jones has not lost in what?
Yeah, no, but for what it's worth, Gustafsson took Jones down, and
He
Jones
did.
was supposedly this irrefutable, untakeable, downable individual, and DC's got, 20 times the takedown ability of Gus.
Which he needed that fight with Gus, which we've talked about that too. Yeah. I mean, he needed that
similar.
Yeah, I mean, when your lip is that big, and you have to look at that for a month until it goes away.
Definitely, you realize a few things, and he came out and realized, hey, I can push through, and that's good for him.
Yeah.
And he's gone full heel since then.
Yes.
So I don't know if you followed it.
I have.
He's trolling Instagram.
Yes, he is. Oh, it's hilarious.
Twitter. It's
so they had the fight. Obviously, two guys, first of all, doing the face-to-face, nose-to-nose thing never works out well.
No one.
Because there was trash talk before this started.
There was a lot.
And there's been trash talk from Daniel,
from before
from DC,
when he was a heavyweight.
Yes.
Before he dropped down, he said, "I'm going to drop down to beat up John Jones."
Yeah. You're going to beat up the best, probably pound-for-pound fighter of all time. Yeah. I'm thinking no.
It's tough, man. But, I mean, DC, you're talking to the guy that, beat the piss out of Fedor when Fedor was still.
He did.
Or not Fedor. Was it Fedor? It was no. He beat Bigfoot, and
yes.
Yeah, it was Bigfoot. Not.
I don't know.
Fedor.
I can't keep up with the crap.
A lot of fights. I'm losing. I'm getting tired.
A lot of fights.
I'm not.
But I mean, you know what? They have a brawl, and then the funniest thing is if you watched, and I'm an Instagram follower of both of those guys. You just watch Jones just do an Instagram video, and now a lot of his tweets and stuff have been deleted, which I don't believe in that. Listen, if you post it,
just say it.
It's too late. You've already said it. Somebody screenshot it. It's there. Leave it. But they did press for the rest of the day, and on ESPN they got into it some more.
Mm-hmm.
But you see where Jones got fired up at the press conference, and I don't know if he has a Zen spot that he puts himself in or what the hell it is, or maybe it is sort of an act. I don't think he's fake because, I mean, I've chatted with the guy before. But he almost just kind of took it down. You know what I mean?
Well, you know when you got someone's goat, you know when you got someone pissed off, and he's like, all right, I got him pissed off. That's what I wanted to do. That's what he set out to do, evidently.
Right.
So why keep riding that train? You accomplished your mission. Wind it back.
They wouldn't put him. I didn't watch the ESPN. I watched the replay of it, but I did watch the Fox Sports 1 interview with Kenny, and they made them both be in separate studios because obviously they really can't be face to face at this point. So going into that fight, I still think Jones is going to beat him. I don't think DC has anything for him.
It depends on getting close. If he can get in close and for what it's worth, cage. Stall, wrestle, fuck him.
Yep.
Then,
which everybody hates, but hey, it's part of the game.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean. There's no shot clock in wrestling, man, or in MMA.
No, I mean if you can get him down, getting him off getting him off you is not going to be easy.
Right.
He's
you just have to watch out for elbows.
Yeah. Yes, you do.
Sharp,
pointy
elbows.
elbow things that lacerate.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to put his hand on his head like he did in his last fight.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
But it's. I don't think this one's getting out of the first round. I'll be totally honest with you.
See, DC's tough enough. I mean, he's taking heavyweight shots. I see it going to at least the third.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he's also DC's got a gas tank and a half.
Right.
That's
true. Can he go 5 rounds? Probably not.
I don't see.
Can he maybe go
3?
I don't think so.
That's the big thing.
Right.
I don't see him being able to be evasive enough to get inside for 5. I see, 3, he's still fresh enough to move around, and then he starts getting caught by some longer reach stuff.
But I mean, Jones did put DC in the same boat as Shale, and back when he fought Shogun like the first time, or he said these are guys that I will not lose to because they don't deserve to be in the cage with me. Which should Shale have got that fight? Probably not. I mean, we all know that. And then we saw. The ass whooping that he took, and you could tell how pissed off Jones. If you break your own toe while you're putting somebody in, when you're just pounding on somebody, I guess that's the way it goes. But I couldn't find the announcer there. That was I don't know who that.
You had one thing to do.
I had one thing,
one
and
job.
I just screwed it up. One job. But there's been plenty of, and then obviously Dana, because he was on his Bora Bora
I haven't
trip.
read what his...
he was on board, but he hasn't said anything.
Yeah.
Because he's on vacation.
I think, I think also he knows so many people are looking for him to say something that he's just...
These two stupid sons of bitches are,
he's going to let the media decide if it was a good or a bad thing for the sport.
Right.
That's what he's going to let it.
Which is, hey, listen.
Before jumping in on that.
For once, maybe he's smart about it.
That actually might be a wise decision, instead of coming out right away and saying, oh, it's bad for the sport, it's bad for the sport, it's bad for the sport. And then all of a sudden, now all the media is running that.
Yep.
Or saying, hey, these two guys just want to fight. Then they all come out and say, well, Dana White's a goon.
Yep.
Who likes to watch people, who encourages this kind of behavior.
Right.
It's best just at this point.
Yeah, you know what? Let the fighter speak for it.
Yeah. Because this kind of shit's been going on in boxing for
that's the exact thing is when you look at the split between the sports, and there's been thousands of people that have talked about it. It's, you know what I mean, and those kind of things. Things like that will happen all the time when you have two guys that are amped up.
To beat the
piss out of each other, and that's what they do for a living. Of course, that's going to happen.
No, yeah, but I mean, for what it's worth, we don't have the same leeway as boxing.
Right.
We haven't been around since the dawn of man.
Yeah.
I mean, technically we have, but we won't get into that whole pancreation.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah, a little bit of
history, maybe our next episode.
Maybe our next episode. I don't know why I went Dragon Balls either.
Great. You play too many video games.
No, it's more anime.
Whatever.
I'm really hoping that at some point my overlords over at Spike will, I don't know if overlord's a flattering term, but I love you guys. Yes. I'm really hoping that they'll use their connections to get me to go to like a game con or something. That's my goal.
You want a Comic-Con or something like that?
Yeah, Comic-Con or an E3, because they always put coverage on those.
Right.
If I can get to a big enough point in my career where they'll pay me to go to that, I think I've made it.
Why
man.
wouldn't you? I'll be your security guard.
Oh, there we go.
All right. I'll even wear a security shirt. Yeah, I'll wear a security shirt.
I'm going to make you wear like a furry outfit.
No, we're not going to do that.
Why not?
No.
Well, come on.
No.
You know you want to.
No. I have to keep the tough guy look.
Well, you already got the furry beard.
I do.
But I'm not. You could dress as a goat.
No.
There you go.
No. Do I look like Daniel? You're such a dick.
I'm okay with who I
am. So we went a whole episode without insulting your brother.
What? Did you hear how he hurt his wrist?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
no. Well, you know what? We might as well get into it. What did he do to himself?
He's been training, and I've been very proud of him. He's been working his butt off pretty hard over at Tai Kai, and he's lost like 30 pounds, something like that, and he's getting in shape. But then he was at work, and he's a diabetic. And he just like
he pinned
left
himself.
the needle off and like stabbed like a nerve cluster in his wrist.
Oh man!
Here you go, Bern. Everyone knows now.
Is he getting himself fixed?
Well, he had to wear one of those big bowling braces for a long time. So he was out of the fight. So I was like, "Did you just come from bowling?" I was like, I love him.
He's special.
He's my brother.
He's your older brother too, right?
He is. He's been coming along though. He's been coming to a lot of striking. He needs to get his ass grappling. But
who wants to grapple? Listen. People that aren't fighting don't want to grapple.
Well, I know, but it's also a totally different level of working out, man. I don't know if you've never tried it.
I can't do it. I can't do that kind of stuff.
Why?
Because my knees. I can't listen. Football's taking its toll,
I know.
and the weight on my body is taking its toll. But
you're losing that.
I am. I'm back into strength training, but I'm still dieting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but we get to your buff, lean power lifter 350. Then you can come hit the mats. It doesn't take too much out of your knees. Trust me.
Yeah.
Well, I just would love to see it once.
Yeah, great.
Because after about 25 seconds,
you're gonna put me. Well, that'll probably happen anyway.
That's true.
But Can you not armbar me? I can't feel my arm.
Well, if you start losing feeling in your left arm, we got a different problem.
We'll do it on the right side. But I did send you a picture the other day of my son trying to armbar me.
I did, and I told you, man.
Yeah, that's all.
Get him started young.
Yeah, exactly.
He was a little high up, though.
Yeah, he was.
Got to get his hips under the elbow joint.
Right. I'm going to work on it with him.
Never cross your ankles.
But
a whole lot. It's so bad. Is it that bad that I looked at it and I immediately picked apart a 4-year-old?
Do you feel better about picking apart a 4-year-old?
I didn't. I do.
Asshole.
I do.
Anyway, September 5th, you return to the cage. It's going to be a good one, man.
September 5th, I'm going to fucking kill someone.
There you go.
I'm very amped up for this.
I like
it. Got a lot of things that it's going to be good.
I will be there. Hopefully, you will be there up at the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut.
And post fight, me and you, adult beverages.
Okay.
Party on.
Twist
and the best
arm.
part is literally right outside the convention center. Not even outside the casino, because it's like this big mega compound casino. You walk out of the convention center and there is a Krispy Kreme. Last time I went and I got a dozen donuts while my wraps were still on, so that's happening again. I had to fight wraps, fight shorts. I'm like, give me a dozen donuts.
Oh, that's a true.
And I just sat down in the hallway.
True fat kid right there.
Oh God, it's gonna be glorious.
True fat kid.
Beat someone up, collect a paycheck.
I love it.
Eat some donuts, drink some beer.
So be there, man. Check them out. Crazy Mike Busatelli, Facebook, Instagram. Or you're not. Oh yeah,
I am. Crazy Mike MMA.
Right there, you go. Instagram and Twitter, which you don't tweet too much.
I've been tweeting more and more lately.
Have you?
Yeah, I've been back on it.
It's
don't. Tough because I try and get like a post on my fan page, which is my main one.
Yeah,
and that's where most of my stuff is.
Yeah.
But that's to relay somewhat semi-professional.
Yeah.
And then my Twitter's a little more ridiculous, and then the Instagram's pictures of cats.
Yes, so. you're. That's gonna wrap up. Is this episode 6? I believe. 6.
Just put episode.
Six
just
and
put
a
like
half?
a pound sign.
Pound.
I don't know.
All right, we'll do that.
Episode 9er.
Niner.
Division.
9er, 5er. The hell with her. How about that?
We don't need to. We'll start naming them. The episode where we talk about something.
Yes, there you go. We'll do that.
We'll start doing that set of numbers.
There you go. We'll use names. So that's gonna wrap it up, man. Crazy Smooth Combat Radio. Make sure you do that. Maybe we'll have condoms next time, kids.
Whoa.
And
we're out.